Hello, and welcome to another episode of Brenda's Musings. So today I want to talk to you about being your true authentic self and what that means for each one of us. What I have come to understand is that I need to ask myself some tough questions. I do this every year. And I need to give myself some super honest answers. And I do this once a year, but things come up throughout the year too. And you just got to be honest with yourself, right? Sometimes somebody will ask you a question, you'll think, oh gosh, I'd never thought of that before. And then you sort of have to, I just sit down and I might give them an answer then and there at the time, or I might say, I need to give that more thought. But I find if it's a question I've never heard before, or if it's a way that I'd never thought of framing myself before, I have to sort of go back and think about it. And I have to be fine with the answer because that's who I am. And if you try to hide who you are from yourself, I can pretty much guarantee you that you're going to start to kill off other parts of yourself that maybe you, like places where you live. So for example, if I didn't feel grief, I wouldn't feel joy the same way that I feel it. I wouldn't experience it. I would acknowledge it maybe, but I wouldn't live it. I wouldn't have it, feel it in my core. So there's a flip side to everything. And if you kill off one side because you don't like it, for example, grief, I don't want to live there. But if I was to shut myself off from grief, I can guarantee you that you would see very little joy. So it's important to acknowledge both sides of the coin. And it's important to experience both sides of the coin so that the part where you can live in the fullest, richest sense of the meaning of the word. You can experience it in such a way that it feels right in your core. That's been my experience anyway. So be honest with yourself. Be honest with your answers. Don't be afraid of the answers. And know that the answers are only for you. Don't worry about all the judging machines because you know what? You are your own worst judge. We all are. We say things to ourselves and we judge ourselves in a way that nobody else in the world would ever do it. And we are our harshest critics, right? So be honest with yourself. And nobody else ever has to know what the questions are that you ask yourself or where the answers take you or any of that kind of stuff. If you want to share them with somebody, that's fine. But it doesn't have to go any further than your head if you don't even want to put them down on paper. Because once they're on paper, they're out of context, right? So at least that's been my experience anyway. If somebody saw a list of my answers, they'd be like, what the hell? Who is this person? But just be careful of closing yourself off because of the answers that you give yourself. Be careful of not allowing that beautiful side of you to flourish because you've cut off the polar opposite. Be careful of going down such a dark path that you stay there. That's not who you are either. So just embrace all parts of yourself and maybe challenge yourself a little bit to investigate both sides of that coin a little bit more and sort of do an experiment with yourself as to how, for the example I gave, how grief affects joy. And play with it a bit. But when it's all said and done, take all those different parts of yourself and just go out and live your life fully, knowing that you are your truest expression of yourself, because there can be no greater light in this world than that. So thank you very much and have a great day.